we're gonna check out this video that 𝗦cie sent me. I think it's gonna be very like in the time and very interesting because there has been a couple of balloons being shot down, right? And as I understand it from what 𝗦cie said, this video explains a little bit about the missiles that was used to shoot down the balloon. And I am interested in missiles. Missiles is interesting. So it's probably gonna be a little bit more facts than we normally do. Like normally it's a little bit crazy. We go a little bit crazy, either into like some fancy universe or some haha where we laugh of someone, or we talk a little bit about like current things in the world, like drama on the internet and stuff like that. But this is current things. It is the world. So I think it's gonna fit pretty well. Good morning, everyone, by the way. Let's check out the video. Let's learn a little bit about missiles, guys. Let's learn.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smarter Every Day. I want to talk about something that's really neat. I'm at Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake here in California. I'm in front of a building that does things, and
just imagine flying this plane, guys. Just imagine. Just like close your eyes and just, no, not close your eyes, but because then you're not gonna see the plane. But like, look at it. Oh my God. And just imagine how fast it goes. It goes really fast, right? Just like zoom. One thing that struck me when I saw like the plane the first time, I haven't seen everything, but this plane, is that here, if you fire these missiles, won't it get like out of balance? But doesn't that matter? But I feel like if you launch like one of the heavier ones maybe, and then the whole plane's aerodynamic is a little bit screwed. So maybe you need to always send two, like one from each side, just like, oh, here we go, two. I don't know.
Here is an F-18, which is a beautiful bird. This particular aircraft can be configured for the attack role or for a fighter role.
Wait. Attack role or fighter role? For me, attack and fighting is pretty much the same thing. It's like, maybe fighter can be a little bit more defensive, but isn't a fighter? I don't know. Now, the missiles are like 1% of the weight of the plane. Ah, so it's so little, it doesn't matter. And also, like, it does take some air, right? Some air hits the missiles, and it makes some, is it called drag or something? Attack ground or fight other planes. Ah,
And there's something I want to show you that's way over here. Check this out. You know, all the different weapons on the pylons. Cool. Some bombs over there.
Bombs.
Look at this. This is a Sidewinder missile, and this changed a lot of things, a lot of places. So,
wow. This
is one of the first heat-seeking missiles that was developed here in the 50s.
Got a big brain.
Right here, China Lake.
Where's the chat? Why isn't the chat on here? There. Sorry. Now people can see the chat. I'm so sorry.
And let's look at it. So you got a seeker up here, so it could go towards the exhaust of an aircraft.
That is cool.
You've got some kind of pivoting fins right here, right? Look right here. You've got, this is like a side-looking proximity sensor, which is amazing that that's on this model.
It's very cool how the rocket is built up by just different like segments like this. It's not like one like thing that has everything like blended together. It's like this part, this part, this part, and that's really cool. And it kind of makes sense though. It makes sense.
This is a warhead. We'll talk more about the warhead in a minute.
Yeah,
you got the rocket, and then you got these things in the back. Look at this. So I want to talk about this. If you look closely, you'll notice there's something that looks like a water wheel here. You see that?
Whee!
Oh, it spins. Look at that. So this is called
oddly satisfying.
A rolleron. Now, if you can imagine, this aircraft is flying along super fast.
Yeah.
You shoot this missile at Mach 2.5. You want to stabilize it, right? You don't want it to just like spin and roll. So you got roll, pitch, and yaw, right? You don't want this thing to roll in ways that you don't want it to. So this is a genius way to get around that. So a rolleron, oh look, you can see right there. You see those little bitty divots? You gotta look close. See those little things that are drilled out there?
Whoa!
That's where they balanced it, because this could spin at over 100,000 RPM. And so they had to make some way more or less.
Whoa, those little drill holes are gonna balance it? But I guess if you send something that fast, it's gonna be like, yeah, very little things are gonna have a huge impact, right?
Less than others, so they had to like spin this thing up and balance it like you'd balance a tire by removing material. But anyway, a roller-on, what it does is as you fire the missile and this spins up, you get a flywheel effect. So you get a gyroscopic effect, and it becomes a giant flywheel, like a gyroscope. And so that angular momentum gives you an angular momentum vector that's right there. And you can see there's
just like a fidget spinner. If you like spin it really fast, and then you can basically like balance it on your finger, it gives like a really good balance when it goes. And that is what that is doing? Wow, I'm learning so much. Oh.
4 of them. There's 1, there's 2.
Wow, genius.
There's 3, and there's 4. So imagine, if you would, you're about to fire this missile, and if you have problems with dynamic stability in the roll axis because you're an engineer in the 50s and you don't have really fast control loops and digital circuitry at your disposal yet.
Yeah, just so I understand, and maybe you understand better, I think what he was talking about is like in the, was it 50s, 60s? You didn't necessarily have a computer that could like measure like in the quarters of milliseconds how like it should adjust the wings and flaps and stuff like that, probably because it's so much speed, everything goes so fast. But the computer wasn't as fast, right? So you had to find out like other solutions to that, right? Right?
This is just genius because it's a passive
So
dynamic
cool.
stability method. So
Yeah.
imagine you could pin a vector here, pin a vector here, here, and there, and just kind of lock it in space so it'll go straight. That's amazing.
Wow.
One thing I don't understand is there appears to be a pivot point here. So as the missile tries to roll, this thing could try to stay in position, and so it'll try to stay back where it was. And I assume that would also provide some aerodynamic stability passively. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I think it's fascinating. So
wow.
I think it's an amazing
See you later, Scale Guy.
piece of engineering. There's a newer missile, a newer version over here. That's the AIM-9L.
There's a newer one.
M. I think the first one, I read it on a thing.
I'm interested.
Is it on this? Okay, so the first one, so that one over there was the M. The B was the first one they deployed. This one is the X.
Oh.
This is the AIM-9X.
So this is like the final iteration of this missile, maybe. And that is the one that was maybe used to blow up the balloon that was like traveling around across the US and Canada space, right?
Right here is, if I can focus on it.
Focus on it, man.
See if I can focus up close here. So you'll notice it's different. It doesn't have pivoting blades up front.
Yeah, that one is just straight up blades.
It's fixed here. So we've got a seeker. That's good. Let's move back.
It's the
Don't
same
have
one?
a proximity fuse here. This has got this kind of billet here. Warhead, rocket, brown stripe for rocket. That's where it leaves the rail. And then way back here, look at that. So these fins pivot in the back. So it's different than the 9 mic over there. This is the...
I like the old one better because that was like ingenious, you know? Here, I feel like they probably use technology and it's probably calculating and doing it with math and like computer. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to like bash on computers. Computers are great, and I'm a developer myself, so I do like computers. But it's something nice with like when things are solved with physics and like physical small components. That is just really satisfying.
The 9X. Also, this is just a model.
That hole.
But you can see anytime you have something in the rocket plume itself, that's usually an indication of thrust vector control. So I assume that means that the AIM-9X can do thrust vector control. I've never worked with the system, so I don't...
I don't know 100%, but is that to like give it more uns, give it more speed? Like if you want it to slow down a little bit, you can just like flap the flap and make less fire come out of the ass. I'm sorry, I'm just using basic words because I don't know all the advanced words in English, okay?
No, but I hear this thing is amazing, but it doesn't have rollerons.
Yeah, it doesn't have that.
Because I just think it's clever and interesting. So
I agree.
Rollerons are neat.
They're so
and,
cool.
I don't know much about them, but it's a genius solution to a difficult problem. So last thing I want to talk about here is the warhead section right here. So if you can imagine, this missile is designed to engage aircraft. So you've got an engine there, the back of the engine's there. So let's say you're going for a heat signature there, and it is able to approach and acquire. It would probably lead the aircraft a little bit. I don't know how they do that, but let's say that it gets to the end game and it wants to detonate this warhead because the side-looking proximity sensor sees something. Well, this little warhead right here is called an expanding rod warhead. And the way it works is, imagine you had a little bitty rod of steel here, here, here. Maybe it's steel, maybe it's tungsten, I don't know. Sometimes people use tungsten because it's more dense, but imagine you had all these rods stacked up in a cylinder around this thing. And you were to weld this end, you'll weld two rods together, and you go to the top one, you go all the way over, and then you weld these two rods together, and you just zigzag back and forth.
Yeah.
And you go all the way around the warhead like that. Well, what happens is, once you have those rods welded together and you detonate the explosive on the inside of that, it would kind of scissor out. Does that make sense? Like it's
yeah, so it just
the cylinder
like that,
and then it would kind of scissor out like that, and you would have like a torus, like you would take a cylinder and turn it into a disc quickly, and that creates
like
a cutter
that,
that's orthogonal to the direction of flight, which is a really bad day if you have a hot engine on an aircraft. You know, the idea is to damage the engine.
Wow.
So that is an amazing design, and I just thought it was interesting.
So when that hits another airplane, the idea isn't that the blast necessarily is the thing that screws it up. It's just like, get it up close and then expand that goddamn thing, just like, and then the expansion of the rods is what's gonna do the damage. Do I understand it correctly? Huh.
And I thought it would be worth talking about. So hope you enjoyed this random discussion about a Sidewinder missile.
Wow.
That's it. I'm Destin. You're getting smarter every day. Have a good one. Bye.
If you look hard enough on the internet, you can find your own roller-on Sidewinder.
He bought one?
Missile.
That is
fan.
cool.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. Check this out.
Woo.
Actually works.
I really hope he's not going to build a missile in his garage.
You can see.
Please don't.
They've been balanced. Yeah, check it out. This kind
I think, oh yeah, we can
latches.
See the
So I'm going to build something
wow.
and check it out. I may have cut myself in the first 30 seconds I had it on this little part right here.
Got a little bit
But it doesn't matter
excited.
because we got it. So thank you to everybody that supports on Patreon. Patreon.com/smartereveryday.
Yeah,
You just bought me some missile parts. Oh yeah, front fins too.
Wow.
Duh. I guess it's like that.
Wow.
That's a front fin.
Oh, he has
How
been
cool is that? Okay.
He has been in
Thank you so
one
much.
of the airplanes.
Feel free to subscribe if you want to see what I do with this, because I have an idea. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm Destin.
He's got an idea.
Getting smarter every day.
I'm gonna like and subscribe.
Have a good one.
Hell yeah. That was really cool. Wow. Wow. Okay, we gotta talk about this a little bit.